The desert was still screaming long after the last bullet stopped. Arlen Kerr lay half buried in red dust, his exosuit cracked at the chest, breathing ragged through a leaking mask. He'd been part of a convoy, 3 rovers, 12 armed escorts, 1 sealed transport full of mining data and prototype biotech. Then came the ambush. Now the convoy was nothing but wreckage stretching across 5 kilometers of frozen wasteland. Half-scorched vehicles, bodies stiffening under the rising frost. The sound of plasma discharge still echoed off the basalt ridges. "Anyone?" he said into his comm. Static answered. "Shit." He checked his O2 meter. 27 minutes of air left. He pulled the backup tank from a dead man's harness and plugged it in. The gauge flickered uncertainly, then stabilized at 52 minutes. That was his miracle for the day. The map in his HUD was cracked and glitching, but the heading was clear enough. Outpost Theta 7, 52 kilometers east, past the rim of the Acheron Basin. He started walking. The landscape stretched forever, rolling dunes of rust-red powder, flat light bleeding across the horizon. The air shimmered like liquid glass around scattered basalt outcrops. His boots hissed softly, magnetic cleats gripping against the hard pack. Wind brushed over him, thin and sharp, carrying sand fine enough to chew through fabric. His respirator rasped in rhythm with his heartbeat. Every kilometer he marked a ping on his HUD, a breadcrumb trail back to nowhere. At noon, the light turned white. Mars's sun felt closer than it should, though its warmth barely touched his skin. He stopped, checked his hydration pack. Empty. He took a sip of nothing and kept walking. By the 5th hour, hallucinations came easy. He saw the convoy alive again, his crewmates laughing in the rover, the hum of the mag engine, the smell of synthetic coffee. Then the memory twisted, blood fogging up visors, a body slamming against glass. "Keep moving," he whispered. "Keep moving." He checked his wrist readout, core temp dropping, humidity near 0. He was losing moisture faster than the suit could recycle. The sky above shimmered faintly violet. At the edge of vision, he thought he saw something, a silver arc gliding silently across the thin air, a sky whale maybe, or a mirage. He smiled weakly. Even the air dreams now. It happened fast. One misstep over a ridge of frost-hardened rock. His mask hit the edge and cracked open. The hiss of escaping pressure was the loudest sound he'd ever heard. He gasped instinctively, and the thin air tore into his lungs like razors, dry, sharp, burning. He fell, rolling down the slope, clutching at the mask. He could see the air leaking, a faint shimmer, vapor freezing instantly. His face burned with cold. The exposed skin on his cheek turned white, then numb. He forced himself upright, half blind with pain. From the emergency kit, he pulled a polymer patch, hands shaking, and sealed the mask crack. The HUD flickered, then stabilized, pressure restored. He slumped to his knees, coughing, eyes streaming behind the visor. 5 minutes, he whispered hoarsely. That's all it takes. By sunset, the temperature had fallen like a dropped stone, minus 58 degrees Celsius and dropping. His suit heaters struggled, battery indicator bleeding red. He found a hollow beneath a tilted rock slab, a natural shelter. Inside, the wind's voice became a whisper. He unrolled a thermal blanket, activated a glow stick, and lay still, staring at the thin auroras rippling faintly in the distance. Frost formed inside his visor, webbing like crystal veins. His breath fogged, froze, faded. He dreamed of water, rivers under glass, the sound of rain that never touched the ground. He dreamed of blue skies that had never existed here. He woke to silence again. Suit power, 22%. Air, 11 minutes. He stood and began walking east. The light was soft now, amber bleeding into gold. The horizon curved gently upward, the air thick with frost crystals. He passed shapes in the distance, wrecks half buried in sand, the bones of an old atmospheric tower, its cables hung like frozen vines. He climbed it, desperate for height, and scanned the horizon. There, faint, a blinking signal, Theta 7 beacon, 18 kilometers. He laughed, or tried to. It came out as a cracked wheeze. Each step after that was a battle. The wind grew stronger, dust swirled into thin spirals, cutting visibility to meters. He stumbled through it like a sleepwalker. Hydration alarm blared. His throat was sandpaper. He bit his lip until he tasted metal, proof he still had blood to give. The beacon light vanished behind the storm, then reappeared. Closer now, a pale strobe in the red gloom. He crawled the last few meters. His suit shut down completely as he reached the outer gate. He slammed a glove against the panel once, twice. Then the lock released with a hiss of warm air. He fell inside. He woke to filtered light and the low hum of generators. His mask was off, face bandaged where frostbite had kissed him. Warm oxygen filled the room like perfume. A man in a technician's jacket stood over him, eyes tired but kind. "You made it," the man said. "How far?" Arlen croaked. 52 clicks, give or take. "Convoy?" "No signals. You're the only one we picked up." Arlen looked toward the viewport. Outside, the Martian dawn burned gold against the frost, endless and indifferent. He closed his eyes and whispered, "Worth it." Later, when he walked outside in a repaired suit, he stood still on the ridge. The wind carried dust across the frozen plains, soft, constant, alive. The air shimmered faintly pink and blue, like a dying fire refusing to go out. He pulled his mask down for just a second, just one. The air tasted like rust and electricity. It burned his lungs, but it smelled like life. He smiled, sealed the mask again, and whispered to the horizon, "Keep breathing, old planet. You're almost there." And somewhere far across the desert, the first flakes of snow began to fall, thin, glittering, beautiful.